Hello and welcome back to Dimension 20 Live presents Fantasy High Sophomore Year. I'm your humble Dungeon Master, Brennan Lee Mulligan. With us, as sometimes, are a fraction of our intrepid heroes.
Horrifying!
Say hi, intrepid heroes!
Hi, intrepid heroes!
Oh my goodness. Well, you guys are watching the weekly game here of the continuation of Fantasy High. If you don't know what that is, go to dropout.tv or go to youtube.com and you can watch the entire first season of Fantasy High right now. This is our weekly game with the bad kids, students at the Eggfort Adventuring Academy. Last week we established that they are off to retrieve the crown of the Nightmare King. We began last week with something a little bit more peaceful. We moved into Mordred Manor. Indeed, the school's guidance counselor, Jawbone O'Shaughnessy, and a border, sort of park ranger, Sandra Lynn Fayeth, have moved in together and given homes to some of our PCs, including Kristen Appleby's and Adine Abernant, who now live at Mordred Manor, a spooky old haunted house up on Haversham Hill, and having a nice little life together here. We also learned from Arthur Eggfort, the principal of the Eggfort Adventuring Academy, that retrieving the crown of the Nightmare King that went missing at the end of last season was going to constitute 60% of your grade this year. Eek! However, you had some clues. Adine researched some lore. Riz Gukgak, one of our missing companions, did some snooping around, and Fig had heard some gossip on tour. All that sort of picked up some leads. Your most promising lead was to make your way to Falinel, where the captured sister of the Elven Oracle, Aelwyn Abernant, might have some clues.
Or we could go somewhere else. That's also fine.
That's also fine. You guys got loaded with some cash from defeating Calvaxis at the end of last season. You guys put a lot of work into discussing which hirelings and companions you bring on your quest. And you guys went to sleep knowing that on the morrow you would embark on your wonderful quest. Now, at the end of our very last session, I'm afraid, it got a little bit more troubling. Strange dreams haunted your nights. Gorgug saw your companion and adventuring party member, Rog Barkrock, eyes bloody, at the edge of a vast cliff overlooking a stormy sea, asking if you were his dad.
I'm not his dad.
Fabian Seacaster fell into endless darkness astride the hangman, ringing of gold in your ear, the void yawning underneath you. Kristen Appleby's saw endless expanses of pages blank, trying to draw a face you couldn't recognize. Adine Abernant, not asleep, but in an elven trance, saw herself drowning in the sea. What Fig and Riz may have seen is a matter truly not important at this time.
I feel like it's maybe very important.
Oh, maybe you feel that way. But you might feel it's important, but I'm afraid for right now, that's a story truly for another time. So instead, we come back to a lovely sunny morning here in the town of Elmville.
Change the music like that.
We come back to a lovely sunny morning in Elmville. Fabian, you awake in Seacaster Manor. Your sheets and your wonderful sort of like wealthy but like Spartan, that kind of like minimalist rich kid room. Your giant computer screen. You're like sweaty in the sheets. Fabian, what do you do as you awaken?
Well, first thing I do is I look over to the left side of my large bed. I say, soon you will be filled. And I get out of bed and I go, Cathilda, today's the day.
You see Cathilda opens the door, comes in her little like maid's outfit, and she says, "Oh, right, Master Fabian, it's delightful. I'd be so happy to go on this adventure with you. Are we beginning now? Should I go and get out in my maid's outfit and ready for the journey ahead?"
Of course, I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen you wear anything but your maid's outfit.
Well, old Master Seacaster, rest his soul, would have wanted me to be in uniform when I was at work. So, but I'd be happy.
But you have other clothes?
yes, I do.
And like normal people, not other maid uniforms, I'm assuming.
Yes, I do. They're not
Just like a T-shirt?
You
You have a T-shirt?
some. I have a few T-shirts.
Incredible.
Well, this will be an opportunity for us to get to know one another, Master Fabian.
Wild. Also, I'm very hungry, so if you could
She reaches out behind the door into the hallway and pulls out a little room service tray, takes the big silver tureen lid off, and you see there's like sliced, like peppered and paprika'd avocado on some rich rustic grain
yes.
bread.
Yes.
There's like a tall thing of like passion fruit juice. There's like
how much juice is in a passion fruit? I mean, I feel like you would have needed a lot of these to prepare this much juice.
Well, you can go out and ask Scurvy Pete.
Scurvy, is he the one who pulls?
Scurvy Pete's the passion fruit juice guy.
Oh, fantastic. I've never asked. There's so many questions I've never thought to ask, but since Papa passed, it's been, and I'm, kind of a man of the house now.
That you are. Well, I'll go and get ready and...
Just go put on your big T-shirt or whatever other clothes you have.
Big T-shirt.
Oh, Master Fabian, this is going to be a delight, I'm sure.
I can't wait.
Cathilda goes and heads off. You get your breakfast, head downstairs. As you head downstairs, you see wearing your mother has taken to wearing a series of grieving kimonos. So she's in a black silk kimono that has a floral pattern, but it is black on black. So it's just a texture and a light differential that lets you kind of see the floral pattern.
So hot.
She's the hottest, dude.
You see that she reaches out, sort of, again, thick bags under her eyes, still in the hangover from that's now many months old at this point. You see that Galir is there. Galir has got like a short sleeve plaid button up and slacks, and you see that he's also got a lanyard around his thing that says intern on it. He's got a little pen behind his ear and a clipboard, and you see that he has a little sort of crystal attached to his belt in like those like middle-aged man pager kind of things with like, a surveillance that goes around to his ear, the little like earpiece things. You see that he's sitting there sort of having one hard-boiled egg. And you see that your mother is reaching out and sort of scratching under his chin. Oh, darling, Fabian, my darling boy, how are you faring this morning?
I'm good. Some nightmares last night, but I'm sure it's normal before a big adventure.
Did you have some terrifying dreams, my darling?
I mean, nothing that I'm sure Papa didn't have in his heyday. Darkness and falling and the sound of gold and all those things that prepare the mind for danger.
Oh, yes. Your father experienced tremendous night terrors for most of his life. He had the most physically active nightmares of any man I've ever known. He would leap from the bed, fully naked, slashing at the air, would fire his gun wildly in the room.
I dream of having nightmares at the level of Papa's.
There is no man that will ever equal your father, Fabian, except one. See, Galir kind of looks up and she says, and I'm looking right at him, my darling. Galir goes, yes, of course, Master Fabian. Well, Master Fabian, I'm about to go out on the coffee run for everybody.
Good.
Is there something you would like?
Yeah. Let me get a half-calf macchiato, all right? And I want it upside down, and I want it with 2 shots, and I want them to take 1 shot out. If anything is wrong with it, I will kick your fucking ass!
Your mother puts a dagger to your throat. If you're going to threaten someone that is a lover of mine, you do it respectfully. Galia, if you make a mistake on my son's coffee order, physical violence will be visited upon you. Do you understand? He goes, none of this feels healthy. I'm going to adjourn to the local cafe. I have to go a couple blocks over. The one nearby banned me because too many of my debit cards failed. I will be back as soon as I can. with the coffee order. Fabian,
Yes, Galea.
we're embarking on a journey together, and it is my intention that I do everything in my power to enable your heroic deeds. I appreciate the opportunity, as again, I am unemployed. So
We're excited to have you, Galea. I'll tell you, it's a dangerous, dangerous world out there.
I am completely unprepared for the perils at hand and deeply frightened. I will go get the coffee. And you see that he gets up and walks away from the table. Cathilda walks back in. You see that she's wearing like a sort of light gray, very comfortable looking sweatshirt and sweatpants. It has chunky white tennis shoes on. And she's got like a little aerobic like headband.
Great.
Awesome.
Wow.
Dresses like my actual dad.
Right, Master Fabian. Well, all prepared and ready to go then. This is a delight. Oh, I'll go catch Galea. I'm sorry, Mr. Faith. I'd like to put an order for myself.
Good, good.
And you see, she takes off. So your mother looks at you and says, well, my dear darling, bon voyage, and I wish you all the best on your first mission abroad.
Well, it's time to write my name upon the world.
That it is.
And you know, just to be clear, Galea could die on, while out and about, and I just want to make sure you're prepared for that. It's just a very real possibility.
If Galea doesn't come back, I will duel you on top of Seacaster Manor to the death.
Okay. Love you.
I love you as well, my darling son. Mwah, mwah. Kisses, have fun on your adventure.
Take care. I'm going to duel my mother on top of Seacaster Manor.
You get outside, the hangman is just in the driveway.
Yes.
Master, long have I waited to hit the old dusty once again.
Yes. We're going somewhere there probably won't be roads, and people probably won't have seen motorcycles. And that's a good thing.
Let them see what they have never seen before. Let their fragile mortal minds shatter against the chrome hull of my front wheel piece.
Oh, Bike, I love you like this. I really do.
I'm feeling it right now, for sure.
We cut over to the thistle spring tree. Gorgo, you awaken from your strange dreams on the cliff with Rog, and you see indeed that your mom and dad come in and go, "Hey there, bud, breakfast in bed."
Oh, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. I think I broke my bed again.
Oh, shucks, that's all right, bud. That's okay. Well, here, let's get it over. You see that they start to go and cast mending, have a big plate of breakfast.
Just eating like 80 eggs.
This is so exciting. Now, are you excited for your big journey?
Yeah, I am really excited. I had a kind of a crazy dream last night where I guess I saw Rog on this cliffside beside a ocean, and his I don't know if this is bad, but his eyes were gone and blood was coming out, and he asked me if I was his dad. So, have you ever had that dream?
Well, I've never had that dream, bud, but I'll tell you what, and it's like I've always said, dreams are always significant because in this world, magic is real.
Okay.
Yeah. Any dream you remember, I would talk to a wizard or a sorcerer about every time.
Okay.
It's never not gonna come up later.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were just gonna say maybe I had like dinner too late or something.
No, why? You had dinner with us last night.
Oh yeah, at 5:15.
Yeah, for sure. No, dreams are deeply significant. Magic is real. You should take that very seriously.
Okay.
Try to get to the bottom of that.
Hey, also, I feel like Zelda's mad at me. and I kind of don't know.
You see that your dad looks over at your mom, and they both immediately jump up into mom and dad pose, sitting with their legs off the side of the bed, kind of turning their full bodies over to look at you, and they go,
Yeah, I feel like she's mad that I'm going out of town. And I don't know, I feel like I was trying to talk to her about it yesterday, but then she hasn't texted me back yet.
Golly, bud. Well, I'm sorry about that. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel sad.
Well, yeah, that is a little sad. You know, feelings are tricky because they're always real, but sometimes, even though they matter and they're valid and they're real, sometimes they're based as much on things that are happening only in our head as they are on things happening in the real world. And, you know, Zelda looks at you and sees you about to go on a big trip with all your pals, and, you know, she's gone on adventures with her adventuring party before, but, you know, this might be new to her, and, you know, it might not be a reflection on you, bud. It might be a reflection on Zelda being worried about the relationship, or maybe she's got insecurities about herself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I think you're doing the right thing by trying to talk to her about it. You know, because do you think that she's upset that you're leaving, or?
I think that's part of it. I don't know, that maybe she is worried about, I don't know, that, like, I don't know what's going to happen on this trip. I'm not saying anything like that would happen on this trip.
Oh, you think she's worried about infidelity?
No, I didn't mean that, but
You think she's
do
worried?
you think she is?
Well, she might be. You're a handsome young fella.
I don't know.
You're a handsome young fella. You're out there adventuring. You're gallivanting, you know.
No, that's not where my head's at.
No, well, we know that's not where your head's at, but that's, you know, fears don't always have to be rational. That's the thing about fears, you know. We want them to always line up A to B with the real risk in the world, but fear and risk, they don't always stack up in the same amount, and that's just part of life. I will say this, you know, I hope you always keep your word, and I hope you never disappoint a partner of yours. And if you've made a commitment to a partner, that's your word, and you need to be honest with them. If you do commit an act of infidelity, you got to wrap it up, okay? Because you start sleeping around, one person becomes 3, it becomes 10, and that's how people get HPV, bud. That's how that happens.
Yeah, well...
You know, most people have it.
HPV?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Most people have it.
I didn't know what happened in this conversation that made it go this way.
Well, here's the thing. Just because you make one mistake doesn't mean, you know, I want you to make the rest.
Sure.
I want you to be faithful.
Okay.
If that's what you've promised and that's the agreement that you and Zelda have, you should be faithful.
Yeah.
Because breaking a promise is not nice.
No.
But if you do, you know, make a terrible mistake and, you know, go back on your word, the least you can do is wrap it up. And if you do raw dog it, don't then go back and be afraid to tell the person and sleep with them, and now they're sick too.
And then they're sick. Okay.
Right?
Well,
because that's how the shame around STDs is how they spread. This is all in the binder. You know, we have a whole chapter in the binder about STDs and the stigma and shame around them, and the fact that things like infidelity or adultery come in and complicate the mix is a lot of how these diseases spread, okay? And the last thing we want is to have to take you to the clinic.
Can we... I gotta go, I think. I'll bring the binder.
Was this helpful? Please bring the binder.
Yeah.
Please, and show your friends.
Okay.
We've tried to show your friends the binder. I know that you don't like that or don't want that.
I just don't think you should bring it to, like, other events.
But we brought it to the Blood Rush game, and that was wrong?
Well, yeah, it was wrong.
Okay. All right, well, that's on us, I guess,
Okay.
and we're sorry.
Hey, I just thought of this, but you don't have any sort of cloaking device or anything we can throw in our
The
bus.
last thing you want to do is try to cloak or invisibilize an STD. If you start getting open
That's not what
rashes,
I'm
you
talking
get a
about.
wart or a boil or a cyst or anything like that.
Not talking about
Again, shame is such a powerful tool.
Mom and
how
Dad?
these
Mom
things-
and Dad?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I was wondering about, we're going to be, you know, adventuring other places, and I'm trying to figure out how to mask our vehicles.
Oh, sure. Well,
we could try to come up with we can see if there's some kind of cloaking device around, right?
Cool.
Yeah, keeping a vehicle secret can be really helpful in a covert operation. Keeping a disease secret doesn't help anybody. Okay?
Lesson learned.
Okay, great.
Lesson
Well,
learned.
we'll get on that cloaking device.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.
Remember, feelings, kind of like STDs, right? You gotta talk about them.
Okay.
You head out the door of the tree. Kristen and Adine are over at Mordred Manor. Each of you guys give me a little d20 roll. We'll see who wakes up first.
Ooh, it's a race.
A 6.
3.
Wow.
Well,
What a
A
win.
race to
makes sense.
the bottom.
Adam, you wake up.
Two.
You wake up like right around dawn, or no, you come out of trance, I should say. You have a feeling. At the end of last session, you rolled a 10 on your saving throw.
Yes.
That was not high enough for the effect that was happening. But you are a full elf and you don't sleep. As you awaken, you intuit that. You go like, something should have worked on me and didn't because I'm immune to sleep effects. But something happened that should have meant a certain thing. Oh, by the way, burn towns get money. If you guys, if you guys haven't seen, for those of you in the chat, last week, offhand, I mentioned that the modus operandi of Calvaxus, Emperor of the Red Waste, was burn towns get money, and it's a shirt a week later.
Burn towns, get money.
Honestly. So what I would say is a hearty thank you to all of you in the chat, because that was something we did a bit about offhandedly. You guys championed it in the chat room so hard that it became a shirt less than 24 hours later.
Having
have
said
power.
that, don't try to game the system. Unless it's fun.
STDs, gotta talk
Gotta
about
talk
them.
about
Our
it.
new merch.
What's
Wrap
our
them up, bud.
A t-shirt a week, dude.
Yeah, a little gnome saying wrap it up, bud.
I would like to cast Detect Magic. Will that give me some info, maybe? I have to do it as a ritual, so it's going to take me 10 minutes.
Cool. You take 10 minutes to start doing that. You do cast Detect Magic. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check with advantage, if you would be so kind.
Ooh. I got a 22.
Powerful enchantment magic. Something along the lines you think of maybe the closest thing that you've approximated to that you've encountered in your last year would be like a suggestion or command spell. Maybe something even more powerful.
Okay.
But it didn't work because you were never fully asleep. But it might have.
Ooh, I also cast Find Familiar last night.
Appearing in front of you in a small circle of silvery elven runes on the ground, it manifests first as you think it's smoke, and then you see clearly from how it's behaving, it is instead very cool water vapor. It's water vapor, and it gets more and more intense, kind of spreading across the floor, but also pluming up in a little, and then you hear, and you see this frog is, I want to say, as close to spherical as a frog can get. It is a perfectly round frog. It is it is, you've made something that is so classic that it's like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. It is so archetypically a frog that it fills you with that feeling of like familiarity that you get from like, oh wow, like a Coca-Cola bottle with like the glass. It's like the perfect thing. It's like the perfect, it's like, oh wow, the perfect brand recognition of what a frog is supposed to be. Just sitting there, it's got like the cream green underbelly with the like brilliant lime green upper part and then the dark green freckles. Its eyes are so like sort of large, and the pupils are large with a lot of like light spots on them, so it looks like a sort of chibi little plush frog thing. You see, it also it miraculously has a collar with a little name tag on it. The name tag you see is blank at the moment, and you can feel one last piece of the spell waiting for you to name the frog. The collar around something that is almost the shape of a perfect spheroid, just with like big legs and little forelegs. It means that the collar is almost around the widest part of the frog, but it is there. And this little frog looks up at you.
I will name you Bogariel Frogariel, or Boggy the Froggy for short. And I like to pull out of my jacket of useful things some kind of like frog bag.
A frog bag?
You reach into the jacket, you pull out a frog bag, which you see is basically it's like a transparent cloth, if that makes sense, almost like a sort of textured plastic wrap of some kind. You see that it's got two sort of segments. There's like a water portion that has some like waterlogged like small sticks and twigs in it, and then an upper dry portion that kind of has some like loose leaves and like a little packet of food in it. And there's like a little froggy door for it to like crawl into the water part and up into the other part. Your frog, I would say, is in its round state about big enough for you to hold in like your two hands.
Great.
So the bag is a little bit larger. The bag's like a backpack-sized bag.
Okay.
But you see that Boggy jumps up and goes, big old like throat extends.
Oh no, it's too much. I'm gonna cry. He's too cute. I'm too comforted by my emotional comfort animal. I feel so supported right now.
Incredible. You have your emotional support frog. You do immediately feel better. Give me an insight check if you would be so kind.
11.
Cool. I'm going to say that the DC here is 10 just because you're getting insight into yourself.
Oh, okay.
Boggy feels so good. And as you're holding Boggy, you see that your shoulders relax and your jaw untightens. And you come into, as Jawbone is often talked with you about, he's like, whenever you're feeling in your, he's like, whenever, Jawbone a million times has been like, whenever you feel trapped in your mind, the way to get out is through your body. Relax your shoulders, breathe, try to relax your jaw. And you realize that your stuff had like tightened up, and that dream had messed you up a little bit. And I think there's maybe a realization or a piece of information that comes to you, which is that a nightmare king is something that is rough to think about in terms of your anxiety. And I think maybe as soon as Boggy relaxes you, it makes you recognize how unrelaxed you were a moment ago. But that realization is just a very minor, it just occurs to you mentally in that moment. And there's that thought of like, what awaits for you in the forest of the Nightmare King?
Great, I take my meds every morning.
Your little alarm goes off on your crystal, and you take your meds. And you have and Boggy is there with you as well. You see that as Boggy jumps, again, Boggy is not a real frog. Boggy is a magic frog. So when he jumps,
He's so real. How dare you? Magic is real, and so is my frog.
he is. Let me rephrase. He is not a natural frog from the world of nature. He is instead a magical mist frog. And you see that when he does a very long jump, he does about midway through transform into mist, and then kind of reconstitute where he jumps to. So he
That's cool as hell.
so he jumps, lands on your shoulder where he croaks very peaceably. Boggy chills you right the hell out because Boggy appears to have one mood that you can see, which is happy to be here again.
Great.
He just looks around kind of excitedly, taking in new information, and doesn't seem to not just be very excited to be here and part of whatever's going on. You walk downstairs. Kristen, you awaken. What do you do as you awaken?
I think I start writing in my dream journal. I've been trying to keep a dream journal.
Oh, as you awaken, by the way, you see that Tracker is sitting on the edge of the bed, putting like sort of like bathrobe on and going over to a candelabra to like take the secret passageway back to her room.
Cool.
She leans over, gives you a kiss on the cheek, and says, "I'm gonna try to sneak back before the grown-ups are awake."
Yeah. Cool.
How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I had a crazy dream, but it was just like I couldn't draw. I guess I didn't really think drawing was that important to me, but in the dream it was like, oh my god, I'm not able to draw. I don't know what I was trying to draw. Can I try to figure that out?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, nat 20. Nat 20.
It felt right.
It felt right. I dropped all my spells, but I
I
did
felt
roll
very confident about that being a nat 20.
With a nat 20, I'll tell you right now.
Great.
You examine the feelings of your dream. You also have a very high wisdom, so as you're to examine it, you were trying to draw a face of a person you don't know. And suddenly realize that the person you don't know, ever since you transitioned yes to yes with a question mark, you've been left in this position of doubt, which is comfortable to you because the whole point of yes with a question mark, which is like your new deity and your new interpretation of your faith, the whole purpose of that is that doubt is fundamentally moral. It is good to question things. However, like your ability to not draw a face, you realize that in that moment, what you were trying to draw was a face of familiarity and comfort. With a nat 20, you might have been trying to draw the face of a god or draw the face of something that you could worship. And again, with a nat 20 insight, guess what the question mark is powerfully virtuous. You, like, I think Kristen absolutely, we've talked about Kristen a lot, believes in the power of doubt. But you're also realizing as you are facing a force that has to do with nightmares, you realize how little comfort doubt provides.
Yes.
Tracker's looking at you and says, you were talking about this for less than 10 seconds, and I literally watched your whole face change like 3 times in a row as you like figured a bunch of stuff out.
Yeah. I just like, you know how we worship yes, question mark, and it's like we don't know, but the people who believe in Helio get to go to sleep every night feeling safe. I think there's a very real moment for everyone who was raised really religious, and then they say, actually, that's not for me. There's a really scary moment in the dark some night where they're like, God, I wish I had that still, And I think I just had, like a nightmare about that. Did we get a patent or anything, or can we still change the god?
What? Can we still change the god?
Can we still change the god that we're worshiping?
Kristen.
Is there an edit button?
Kristen, you want to edit your god of doubt because you're not sure if doubt is the right thing?
I just think, what if it was like a sun? Like
That's
the sun.
Helio! That's
Okay.
Helio! Look,
I just think, what if there was a whole book written by people who came before us, and they were kind of like, this helps us sleep at night, I'm doubting my doubt. There, I said it. I'm doubting my doubt.
You're reverse engineering your way to the exact thing that you were certain you needed to abandon.
I know, and there's not really a space for me with Helio. I'm aware of that, okay?
You know that Helio would take you back in a second.
Yes, but I would not be happy there. And Helio would be like, you need to marry a nice man. And that would be hard.
I don't want you to do that.
I want to marry you.
What?
I mean in the future. I'm just saying we need a
When in
little
the
bit more
future?
certainty in our
Kristen,
life. So I'm starting that right now, and I would like
toothpaste
to
is
marry you one
out
day.
of the tube.
One day I would love to marry you. I just think you have it all. And as a matter of fact, I hate that I'm leaving you for this long. And do you want to come?
She starts crying and is like,
I start crying.
She's like,
This is
I
so
thought it was
gay.
really messed up that you didn't ask me, and I just assumed that it was because you wanted me to stay here to run the church.
That's crazy. The church is a question mark. It's like no one needs to run the church.
But no, it does. We've been doing it for months. Kristen, I still believe in the goddess of the moon. I've been like helping you with this because my goddess doesn't have any rules about worshiping other gods from other pantheons. Like she is extremely open about revering other entities and forces. But like I have my own personal faith, and I've been trying to help you because the goddess of the moon it is also an ancient religion and is sort of established and doesn't need a lot. But like
I think just I made like questioning everything should maybe be more like a practice and not like my deity. I think I just put it in the wrong category. See, it's really, you don't just gracefully you don't just gracefully lose your religion. You just kind of fall out of the Uber and you give them a 1-star review and you know that's gonna tank their career. And you got off at the wrong intersection and now you need to walk because your phone died. You understand?
No, but I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Will you please come with us?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, I need to go convince everyone else, but I'm sure it'll be easy.
You just can like check in with them. If there's a reason they don't want me, that's fine.
No, that'd be crazy because we would love to have you. I just wasn't sure if you would want to go on like my homework.
No, look, like I dropped out of high school, like but like we should tell like the book club. We should tell like we've gone on a lot of missions. We've been helping a lot of swamps.
I don't not believe in it. I just think it needs a little bit more substance. My belief can't be like that. There is nothing to believe.
Look, I won't lie. Like the thing I love the most about you is that you're always on an adventure, and the fact that most of it is in your own head is beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean that. I really mean that.
It is like exhausting, but I think I'm gonna get there eventually.
Look,
it's the climb.
I was bitten by a werewolf when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
I got my first cleric spells the next time that the full moon happened. All I have to do is spill blood, say the words, believe in the rituals when it happens, and it's extremely primal. Like my faith is like mostly in my body. It's physical, it's a part of me. And where and how it intersects with my moral self is a matter of like the stories and legends from my faith, but it also has so much flexibility that the questions that my faith can't answer, I can answer like with you guys and like the world and society. Totally. So it works for me. It's like very simple and it's toned down and it's something that I love and it gives me a lot of strength. But like, I would go crazy if I was on the journey you're on. So just like I want to support you and I want to be here for you and I want to make sure that that there are moments where you get out of your own head.
Yeah, totally. I think that happens. I can't name the times right now when I'm out of my head, but I know it happens.
I can get you out of your head.
We fuck.
No, a fly flew into your coffee, and I just
What?
want you to drink. It was just great. Like this whole intimate scene was happening, and this fly was just walking around your coffee. And my greatest fear was that you, in the middle of the scene, were just gonna go, and I was gonna have to.
Protein.
Is it gone?
I don't see it,
Okay,
but it
thank
is
God.
coffee, so.
Yeah. Anyway, they fuck.
It's in a little bikini.
Fabian and Gorga, you guys arrive at Mordred Manor.
Is Clear here?
He's getting coffee. He'll
Oh,
be
can
here
you
soon.
put in my order?
Oh yeah, I'll text him. What did you want?
Can I get a hot chocolate with a shot of decaf?
And if he gets anything wrong, I'm going to threaten to enact physical violence on him.
Oh, okay. You don't have to.
I just have to say it that way because I said I was going to kick his ass.
Can I get a peppermint mocha?
Oh,
but
okay, right,
no
yes.
violence,
Okay,
please?
peppermint folk. Are you sure? If he gets
I'm
it wrong,
Positive.
if you don't have to do it,
I
I'm
feel
happy
like
to.
you're threatening him enough.
There's no such thing. I mean, especially, where's Fig? Is Fig here?
Oh, she's not up.
Everyone give me a perception check if you'd be so kind.
I've been threatening him with such wild abandon and no one said anything, so
12?
what do you want, perception?
Perception.
15.
15?
13.
Gorga, you immediately notice that the tour bus is gone.
Oh. What?
I guess the bus isn't here.
That's. Can I go in and play the chord on the piano that opens up her room?
Opens up Fig's room. All her touring suitcases are gone.
What the hell?
And where's the ball? Is the ball not here? Hey, 1 second. I'm going to call the ball.
I'm gonna
can
call
I call
Fig.
the ball?
You go in your crystal to the contact that just says the ball.
Yes.
Call it, and it goes straight to voicemail.
Oh, something is horribly wrong. I just called the ball and it went straight to voicemail. That has never happened. Every time I have ever called the ball, he has picked up, honestly, quicker than I thought possible. Something is very wrong.
Can I call Sklanda?
Is Sandra Lynn here?
As you say that, you see that Baxter descends from the sky, and Sandra Lynn Faith leaps off. She's got her bow, multiple quivers of arrows, but is dressed in that, she has like that crocodile hunter getup, like the short khaki shorts, the khaki short sleeve button up. You see that she's got and like thick, chunky hiking boots, like those big hiking boots.
Yes.
She comes up, she's got a little zinc on the sides of her nose. She just jumps up and starts tossing water bottles and starts going, sunscreen, 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 sunscreen.
Great. We're having kind of an emergency, but also real quick, do you want coffee or anything? Galier's making a run.
Galir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a whole thing with you. I'm sorry, I'm not. Fig's not here,
Fig's not
so
here,
that's like throwing
and
me off.
neither is Riz.
Is she
Fig
still
is
asleep?
gone,
And the bus is
Riz,
gone.
we're not
The
quite
ball
sure
is in
about.
trouble. I can tell you. He would have picked up. That's crazy.
All right,
Do you
calm
have
down,
his
calm down.
mom's number? I don't have.
I do have Sklanda's number. Hold on. She picks it up. She stays in the crystal for a minute. She goes, "Hi, Sklanda. It's Sandra Lynn." Oh, certainly. No, it was so fun.
Seems like they're.
Yeah.
Catching up. It's fine. I mean,
I have a coffee order.
Oh, yeah, of course. What do you
Wait
want?
a second. I just want like a cortato.
Okay, great.
And then I want no milk at all,
No
and
milk?
I do want it iced.
great. And
In
if
a
it's not,
cortado, you don't want any milk?
No milk, no foam.
Okay,
I
yep.
do want it iced,
Yep.
and I would like it tea-based
you know what a
instead of
cortado
coffee.
is?
yes,
Cortado.
great. I can do
That's
that.
not what a cortado is.
Tea-based instead of coffee.
Honestly,
and
this
some
is
lemon.
the fact that this is complex and maybe impossible is perfect. Are you all right if I threaten physical violence should he not comply?
Should I get a cortato?
No, you should definitely.
That's not what a cortado is. That's just tea with lemon.
Do you want? Do you want a cortado?
I want it iced.
So
All right, you got
I'm
it.
gonna-
Iced tea with lemon.
And some
I'll get
lemonade,
a
maybe.
cortado.
Wait, another cortado. Wait, the tea one or a normal cortado?
What's that?
The tea one or the normal cortado?
I thought it's only the tea one. There's
Okay,
another
great,
type other than the tea
fantastic.
one?
So
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna beat him so hard. What's up with
I
you?
think
you're
it's
all
a
gonna
hot
get-
chocolate, shot of decaf,
Yes.
shot of a cortado.
Shot of a cortado. This is. I'm loving this. A shot of a cortado. Anything
So,
else?
but keep in mind,
shot of
decaf.
Yes, I'm.
Decaf shot.
Yep.
So, what would be the size of a shot inside that shot? Cortado.
I'm just changing mine to a black coffee.
Great. And a.
Very simple, no
get that
violence.
wrong.
I'm gonna make sure you get both, just in case, just so he has two opportunities to mess it up. Boom. Coffee's ordered. Is the ball dead?
You see that she closes the thing. She says, Sklanda is downtown at the Elm Valley Mall. There's been, looks like a robbery down there. Oh, God. She is heading off to look. She just called and didn't get an answer from him either. He didn't come home last night, so he was at his new office. I can take off and look for I can fly to the bus depot real quick and just see if the tour bus is getting returned or something. Do you want to head to Riz's office?
I'll head to the office.
Yeah,
let's
let's
go.
head to Riz's office.
Is anyone? And we checked Fig's room, so you're gonna check for Fig at the bus depot.
Yes.
Can we borrow Jawbone's car?
I can see if I can get my parents' van.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see that she looks at you and says, "You're welcome to just go ask Jawbone. But I'm sure he'd be fine with you guys taking the car if you just want to run. I don't think there's any reason to freak out. Fig does her own thing a lot. I'm gonna go see if she's returning the bus. The Riz thing is upsetting. Go check out in the office. He might have just been up all night and passed out. So go check out.
Hey, before we go to Riz's, and this is very important, but I just want to float another person by you guys who is like really strong.
You want to bring Tracker?
Yeah.
Instead of Galia?
Yeah.
No, Galia is coming.
Okay, then in addition to Galia.
Okay, I have one rule to bring Tracker, which I think is a good idea.
Okay.
And it's more of a request than a rule.
Okay.
Please don't have sex in the tent with us.
What? What do you think I would just have sex
Yes.
with just you in the tent?
No, with Tracker when we were in the tent with you.
Okay.
Don't have sex with Tracker when we are in the tent with you.
What if I don't know that you're in there?
You will.
You should just know who's in a tent.
Yeah.
You can just
I
say
guess.
you can just
I
throw a
mean,
call out.
definitely. What, you think I'm trying to have public sex in front of you guys? No,
I don't know.
that's
You
crazy.
guys are big, like kink. I don't know. Voyeur might be like a.
Wow.
I don't know.
All right. Yes, it is my number 3 on my kink test. Okay. Yes. Fine.
You see Tracker walks out. Tracker looks and says, I'm really excited to come along, guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I will do my best not to mess with the bad kids vibe. I know that Kristen is like.
Oh, Tracker, you're absolutely an honorary bad kid.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, sure. We should talk about that before we give out any more honorary bad
I
kid.
said honorary. It's Tracker.
You can't just add any.
And
You have to
you're
consult
adding
the
her. She's
bad kids.
an honorary bad kid.
But Galir is also a bad kid.
No,
you see,
it's clear.
yeah.
Do you have a coffee order?
Yeah, can I just get a cortado?
Tea
What kind
variety
of
or?
cortado?
Do you want the
There's a tea
cortado where
cortado?
No, there isn't.
Cortado, take out the milk,
Cort-
add lemonade, sub the coffee for iced tea.
Can I just get a black coffee, 2 shots of espresso?
Yep. And is it all right if I threaten physical violence if it's not perfectly made, and as you ordered it?
Who are you threatening?
Galia.
I'm gonna have to revoke that, and I'm sorry, I'm already getting on Fabian's shit list, but that's how it is. I will do my best to get Megan your way. I think having another healer along makes a lot of sense. Also, I can't be hurt by stuff that isn't silver, so that should come in
Oh,
handy.
rad.
Awesome.
Chill.
Is that the same for Jonathan?
Yeah, it's a part of lycanthropy. You guys will have to chain me up on full moons, or I'll go crazy and attack.
I think I can handle that.
Oh no! Don't make it a thing.
Wait, is this our first vacation?
This is our first vacation.
It's not a vacation.
Babe.
Yes, this is
saving the world.
60% of our grade. All right.
Also, it's 60% of our grade.
How about you guys won't be crying when we're freaking 69ing and healing all you guys?
All right. I am going to go check on the ball, and I can take one
Why?
person with me. No, there's nothing wrong with 69.
You guys have no idea that that's how I heal. There just hasn't been the 9 there.
You see that Tracker looks at you and says, I actually should go, if you guys want to go check on that makes a ton of sense. I should go and like send some crystal mail and stuff like that.
Yeah, get
I
some pack
texted
and
Craig about canceling the church, and he said it should probably be fine.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay, cool. So it's just a whisper of a church that we were running.
It turns out that mostly it was Craig, and Craig actually has been at church waiting for a sermon for a little
Oh,
while.
shoot. Oh, okay.
Because I guess we missed the last one.
I appreciate it so
I guess, I texted Craig and I was like, hey, maybe this God was stupid or bad and we're not sure if it's happening. And Craig was super, you can read it, and you just read a text that's like, not a problem, miscommunication on my part, truly so excited for whatever God you guys come up with next.
Awesome.
Really need something in my life, don't like anything out on the market.
Amen, Craig. Amen.
Craig is ride or die.
Craig is great.
Yeah, Craig's great. And he's pretty much the only person that's been reliably showing up, so I feel like as your one follower,
Yeah.
Craig will hang tight.
Cool. Wait, you didn't see like the ball or like Fig or anything, right?
No, I was in the room with you. I mean, you see Sandra Lynn looks over, she's like, I was in my own room, sleeping last night.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yep, for sure.
totally.
Beep, 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 beep. I'm gonna go. And you see that,
Did you guys meet my frog?
I'll tell you, I look at that frog and I just feel good. You know,
Right?
it's just like
Yes.
very on
Just
brand.
a
I love it.
It's like the perfect plush.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
gotta buy it.
Platonic
You wanna
ideal
give
of
him
a
a
frog.
little
Yes.
What's his name?
Boggy.
What's that?
Oh.
Bogarial Frogarial.
Oh, it's like Mitt
Buggy.
Romney's Twitter. That's so cute.
as you squeeze,
You are.
as you squeeze Boggy, you see that much like a water balloon, as you squeeze Boggy, the other parts of him expand away from where you squeeze,
that's-
and he does make a ribbit noise as you do that.
Oh,
He seems
cute.
to like
I mean, I got Oh, that's fun. Oh, that'll be good to have.
That's fun.
Cool. So Jawbone's car is there if you guys want to go to Riz's office and check it out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Cool. You hop in the car.
I don't hop in the car, right? I have a motorcycle.
You have a motorcycle. The rest of you guys hop in the car.
Shotgun.
Adine goes shotgun. Who's driving?
Tracker, I would
Oh,
guess,
Fig's
right?
not here. Oh.
Tracker's gonna go shut down church stuff.
Oh, right.
I could give it a shot. All right, if you want to drive.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely going to ride my motorcycle in that case.
I'm gonna hop on the motorcycle with Fabian, actually.
Honestly, great call.
As you get on the hangman speaks to you, Fabian, and says,
Master.
No, not even. We're not even. No, not even close. It's she's doing her own. She's doing her own thing.
I think that what happens in the tent should stay in the tent.
Oh, I mean, you're.
Wait.
Just so you know, I guess my motorcycle was listening to the conversation before. It's very down with you having sex with.
That's
Tracker.
great.
Master,
Yes.
we might learn some stuff for when we rescue Aelwyn. If stuff happens in the tent, you know.
Hangman, I don't need to learn anything. All right, I know how to kiss. All right, my kisses are perfect.
Do you kiss the hangman?
I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the Hangman in my head. No,
Sorry,
From the
I'm
window.
talking out loud.
From the window of Jawbone's car. Yeah, do you kiss the hangman?
No, I don't kiss.
I would also like to know that.
I don't kiss.
Because the hangman is much more human than my bitch sister.
All right. We don't need to be making judgment calls about anyone. I don't kiss the Hangman. Do not put that on Crystal Book or Krister.
I'm just saying, if we're all honest, we've all kissed a wall or a door frame at some point.
Oh,
so
please. I was.
probably
And I'm
kissed the
thinking,
hangman.
like, should I have kissed a wall or a door frame? God.
you guys take off. You see that who is driving between Adine and Gorga?
I guess Gorga.
I think Gorga.
Gorga.
is driving.
So Gorga, you do have advantage on dexterity saving throws in case anything bad happens. But as you get in the car, you see coming out onto like the weird spooky veranda of the haunted house is Jawbone. Jawbone has taken to domestic living so well in this house. He is truly only wearing a pair of tidy whities over his extremely furry body. He's got his little glasses and he raises a big cup of coffee and goes, "Hell yeah, brother, take her easy out there, pal."
I will. I started sweating immediately.
That's all right. Do you drive stick?
Do I drive stick?
You drive stick?
I we'll figure it out.
Just you gotta use the clutch, brother.
Clutch,
Have a
so-
good one, my man.
All right, just gotta get it
It's
in
on the
the
floor. The
second
clutch
gear.
is on the floor.
I know. Wait, what am I holding?
What's that? The clutch
That's
is,
the nos.
and it's down on the ground.
nos?
You see Jawbone raising the coffee. He's like, "All right, looks like old Jawbone's got the place to himself this morning. Let's get some of these cobwebs down." You see, you can hear some music from an old record, just like some samba music as Jawbone goes and starts cleaning the house. You guys take off. You go all the way to downtown, or actually, sorry, this is in Ballister. You head to the Ballister, which is where the Strong Tower Luxury apartments are. There is an old kind of stone Art Deco-y kind of building. This is a little bit more populated, so it's not the sort of like two-story houses of like north of the river. There's a lot more like this is sort of a little bit more urban down in this part of Downville. As you guys arrive, you see this little office building. There appear to be buzzer. It's like one of those office buildings that doesn't have like an open lobby. You got to still like buzz into it. But as you guys approach, you park the car, no sweat. Actually, go ahead and just give me a dexterity check if you'd be so kind.
Okay, just raw, not with advantage.
Not with advantage.
So 7.
7. You figure out like the transmission of this. You mess this car up. This car, you get where you're going, but there's a lot of honking and angry people.
Go around.
Sorry. I'm just clinging onto Boggy for dear life. Trying not to backseat drive.
Trying not to backseat drive. You guys arrive eventually. You see this little office building, and there's a little locked door. But you know that Riz's office is up on the 3rd floor.
Is there a buzzer for Riz's office?
Yeah, for sure. Push it. Zzz. Nothing appears to happen. No response.
All right. I mean, we're going inside.
Yeah.
What's the door won't open?
Yeah, it's locked.
You don't have knock, do you?
Thieves' tools?
I don't have knock. Can I maybe use... Can Mage Hand go through doors?
You can cast it to create it on the other side of the door.
Great. Can I do that and try and open it from the other side?
Like a lot of office buildings, it's openable from the inside for people leaving. So you just cast Mage
Great.
Hand, open it from the other side, and are in.
So close to breaking it. So close.
Let's try not to. I also cast Mending on the car as we're going upstairs.
Cast Mending on the car makes it a little bit.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, it was for me as well. I didn't want to.
It was for me.
You guys walk up into to the third floor, and you see the little golden lettering on the frosted glass. Riz Gukgak, licensed private investigator.
All right, which one of these offices is the balls? I don't see. That doesn't say the balls.
His name
Knock,
is
knock, knock.
Riz.
No response.
Get that.
No
His name is
response.
Riz. This is his.
Oh.
Try and open the door.
This one's locked as well.
Can I try the same trick?
You try the same trick and it doesn't work. Maybe Riz is a little bit more paranoid, but yeah, it does not work.
Riz.
Is there a code or anything, or it's just straight up key?
Looks like a straight up key.
Oh, the ball.
Can we check for keys like hidden for him, like under a mat?
Can I put a piece of paper underneath the door and hit the door
Was that
to see if a key drops down to the other side?
You push the paper, hit it to see if a key drops to the other side. Give me just a pure luck roll on a d20.
4.
You
I saw this in a movie once.
you hit the door. As you hit the door, you hear a twing and a little dart sticks. You can hear some trap that Riz has set up.
Great.
All right,
Oh, great.
fuck this. Kick the door.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Oh, come on. That's. I have advantage on those. I think,
Only when you're
only when
jumping.
I'm jumping. Great. That's a 9.
9. Bam! You kick the door. It does not open.
I cast Misty Step and I go through the door.
Cool. You misty step through the door. You appear on the other side.
Be careful.
Yeah, as you are in here, you see signs of struggle.
Uh-oh. Guys, it's bad. Is there a key?
Open, let us
Open up
in.
the door.
You go, you look around. It's like one of those old buildings. So it's the thing where there's a keyhole on both sides of the door, so there's not a locking mechanism over here on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys want me to do it?
Yeah, can I do an investigate check for a key?
Yeah, go for it.
25. 24.
Oh, hell yeah. You start looking around. You do find a spare key in here.
Can I try to break the door down?
Yeah, go for it.
Don't break the door down.
19.
Plus your athletics?
Yes.
I have the key in the
27.
lock.
Fully off the hinges. Bam!
It was loosened. Let's all just admit that it was loosened.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
kicked it
Whoa,
hard,
this place
alright.
looks crazy.
Yeah.
Adine, as you find the key here, you see, first of all of Riz's crazy Pepe Sylvia-esque, yarn going from one thing to conspiracy theory detective stuff. There's also a lot of file boxes. So you see that there's like a big file box over in the corner that has missing maidens, aka the Calvaxis caper, closed.
Caper.
Yeah, the case of the missing maidens, aka the Calvaxis caper.
Caper spelt with a K.
Yes. You see that as you are looking around, the thing that you see, like in the struggle here, what you also notice is there's definite signs of struggle, bullet holes as well.
Oh, Riz's bullets?
Riz's bullets. You also see that there is no blood. So whatever was here, you've seen like when Zane Darkshadow was killed, you saw like under the black light there's blood and stuff like that. So there was a struggle here. Riz was fighting something, but whatever it wasn't injuring Riz. Or it wasn't injuring him in a way that drew blood. Okay. Now, however, you see some little goblin claw marks as though Riz was dragged across the floor.
Oh, no.
Those claw marks lead to a standing mirror. There is also something in the wooden floorboards that the claws lead to, as though the claws were attempting to manipulate something at a certain section of floorboard.
Can I open that floorboard?
Yeah, go for it. It doesn't seem immediately obvious to you, but I think with
Can I
like,
just like bang, 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 bang? Boom, boom, boom.
As you go bang, 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 as it pops up, you see that a little compartment opens up in the floor. There is a photograph in there. It is an old photograph of an extremely handsome goblin man in a tuxedo with a pencil mustache and a coif of hair. And because Riz Gukgak is a very private young boy, I don't think any of you actually know who this is.
But does it look enough like him that we would be like, I think that's his dad?
Yeah, you could probably guess for sure.
Exactly.
You know that his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Does it have a name on the back of it or anything like that?
What you see is this. It's like a cocktail party, and Pak Gukgak, Riz's dad, has his arm around nothing and is raising a glass, and there is like red marker, like dry erase, not ruining the photo, but there's like red dry erase marker over and over in the space of where Pak Gukgak's empty arm is as he's like raising a glass.
Can I do an investigate to see if there are any other photos with Riz in them in this office?
Sure, do an investigation check.
Can I do an Arcana check on this photo?
Oh, can I do a religion?
Can I do an investigate check for things with my name on them?
I guess I'm going to investigate just in general.
19.
I got a 21 on my Arcana for this photo.
21 Arcana.
19 to find photos of Riz in a religious way.
A 19 religion check.
Yeah, just like, oh, you're just, God, I got it.
Oh, I'm so doubtful.
so
I got an
doubtful.
18 investigate check.
18 investigate check.
I
Cool.
got an 8 investigate check looking for things with the word Fabian on them.
You don't find anything. You even look in the old Calvaxis stuff, and you're like, "Where's my name in any of this?"
Why doesn't he have any? Should we? Oh, come on, Riz.
So we'll start with the 18 investigate. What kind of stuff is Gorgug looking for?
I think Gorgug is still worried about the dream he had last night, and something about that picture is really creepy to him. So if there's any sort of
Just creepy shit.
yeah,
I think
anything
you probably
creepy.
follow the trail to the mirror. You go with the claws over to the mirror.
Yeah.
You're just sort of looking into the standing mirror, and with an 18 investigate, okay, I'm going to give you this and let you guys do a little real world sleuthing. The claw marks on the floor that you see go all the way to the very base of the mirror.
Yeah.
Can I move the mirror to see if they continue beyond?
They don't. And you don't see like a trap door behind the mirror or anything else like that.
I think Gorga is just going to touch the mirror.
Awesome. We'll get to that in a second.
Great. I'm looking for photos that might have had Riz in them around his office. Photos or photos with his mom.
You find a little photo on his desk that is him as a baby with a police officer's hat before his mom was a full detective. It's on the day that she joined, or not the day she joined the force, but like a ceremony where she was like awarded with a medal and was in her like policeman's uniform, the kind of like regalia. And Riz is a little baby in a diaper on like a kitchen table, and she's in uniform next to him, and he's got her hat that's too big for his head, but it's kind of pushing his big pointy ears down onto his head. Other than that, you only find him in photographs that are incidental. You know, stuff where it's like, this is part of a larger case. It's like a photo of him with Penny in the Calvaxis
But he is
stuff.
showing up in photos.
Correct.
He hasn't been like erased or anything like
He
that.
has not
And his
been.
mom.
And his mom, she's
so
in
who
photos
is this
also.
person that went missing that isn't Sklonder?
Are there any other photos with people missing?
That's a great thing that Adam just put together. Sklanda's not missing,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Cool.
So that's what you find there. With the 21 Arcana, what kind of stuff is Adam looking for?
I'm just trying to figure out, like, is this person who, like, presumably disappeared from this photograph, is this a magical effect that is on this specific photograph, I guess? Or is this something that is a wider, sort of worldwide situation?
Cool. Are you supplementing your Arcana check with any magic casting, any divinatory stuff?
Let me see if I have anything that's actually useful that's prepped.
No worries if not.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything.
Or like a detect magic or anything else like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can do detect magic as a ritual.
Cool. So if you start, you're looking at it. So actually, I'll just say with that 21 Arcana before you cast Detect Magic, you're looking at this. There is like a conspicuous absence of magic here.
Wow.
Does that make sense? You're looking at it, and
Yeah.
it
Good
seems
cleanup.
it seems so mundane.
Like they've wiped the prints off of it?
Something like that almost. But you're looking at also with that Arcana. This is not quite Arcana, but just with a high intelligence-based roll. You know that Pock is not like doing a bit. You know that his like arm is.
Just the way that the folds of his clothes are folded or something?
Well, actually, what's interesting is his arm. If you look at his clothing is not folded as it would be if there was something invisible there.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So there's not. It's not like there's an invisible force that's clearly manipulating something. On his arm, it looks like his arm's just hanging out free in air, like he's miming, doing something. But on his face, he's clearly matching someone giving a cheers.
Where's Squander right now?
She said that she was off looking for. She was investigating a robbery at the Elm Valley Mall.
Can I take a photo with my crystal of this and ask who was in this photo with Pock to her?
You send that text.
To 911, I guess, since I don't know why I would have Squander's
So you
personal
take,
number.
You take a picture for sure. As you do, Gorgug, you put your hand on the mirror. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Four.
You get a 19 on that, actually.
Nice.
Do you? I'm getting your portent
Yes,
roll.
you're getting my portent.
19 plus 1.
Adine, you're examining the photograph. You see 6 seconds in the future. In fact, the majority of futures, your head is chopped off by a raging Gorgug who has lost control. You grab him a second before his hand touches the mirror.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Don't touch it.
Bad? Nope.
I usually don't find things. So.
Did he find? Was it? What?
Can I? My detect magic is still going. Can I?
You finish the ritual as Gorgug steps back from the mirror. So you guys see Adine start doing her whole shit looking at the mirror. Adine, your eyes glow white. You look and see a normal reflection of the office. That doesn't change at all. But appearing in the mirror is claw marks that do not have symmetry to the claw marks in this room on the floor. And lying in the middle of the room is Riz Gakgak. Every limb of his body and his head is contorted at horrifying angles. His head has been fully twisted around, arm dislocated, folded back around, lying not in a knot, but in a jumble of disjointedness.
Oh my God! Can anybody else? Can you see? Riz
None?
is he's on the other side of the mirror, I think.
As you start to, as Adine says that, you guys see smokily Riz's body start to appear as Adine starts to describe it.
Whoa.
We have to.
Why couldn't
have-
you touch it? Are we? Is
I
it
think it was
cursed?
gonna make him mad.
All right. Well, we have to.
Can I cast Dispel Magic on this mirror?
You absolutely can. I'm going to need a roll of
Okay.
attempting to dispel.
Before we do this, can I cast Bless on these three?
Yes, go for it.
You guys
Can
are
I give
blessed.
you the help action?
Oh, I get the help action from
You're familiar.
from my familiar.
Oh, cute, perfect
cute.
boy.
Boggy.
It's DC 10 plus the spell's level, right? And then I got a nat 20.
Adine reaches in, does something. You see that Boggy kind of looks up at you. How could you be scared with this adorable frog on your shoulder? Kristen steps back with Gorgug and Fabian, and you guys feel this power. The power that you're wielding right now is like an even deeper doubt than before. So this bless kind of manifests as a feeling of like, hey, stay on your toes because who knows what the hell this universe is about or what's
Oh,
happening.
great, more anxiety.
It's
for me.
all
Fantastic.
random. You're all blessed.
Adine, your hair does that thing where it starts to slowly float up as though in an unseen wind. Boom! The entire mirror ripples like a heavy rock is dropped into the middle of a perfectly still lake for a second. Boom! And that reflection is gone. Everyone here roll a perception check.
Ooh, maybe that was the wrong thing for me to have done.
No, definitely 13.
I got a 24.
Nat 20.
Everyone except, what'd you roll again?
13.
I'll say 13 succeeds as well. You guys all immediately notice that the reflection is clear, the claw marks are gone. Standing in the middle, not in the middle of the room, Riz's body is still in that contorted, horrifying thing.
In the mirror?
You guys see,
Or in the room that we're in?
in the room that you're in.
Oh, it's back.
It's like
Maybe?
you dispelled the mirror, and that thing is now in this room with you.
That thing being Riz's
Riz's body?
You see.
No.
Oh, no.
What's happening?
It's him.
Riz Skukgak's body is in the center of his office. You see the body. Breathe.
Riz?
He's alive.
Oh, the ball, I swear. You can't do things like this.
Yeah, it's 60% of our grade.
You look so hurt right now.
Oh, no.
Jesus, the ball.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh. What, the ball?
No, it's not Riz. It's not Riz.
I'm gonna need everybody here to roll initiative. Guys, that's it for today's chapter of Dimension 20, but
I call to you from the great beyond. I have possessed the dungeon master known as Brennan Lee Mulligan to say that more full episodes of Dimension 20 await you on dropout.tv. Sign up for your free trial.
Sam, did we get that? It waits until one of you guys makes the smallest motion for a weapon. And you see that Riz stabs two of his fingers into each eye and pulls his face open through the eye sockets.